While the Superman comics struggled, DC's sister company Warner Brothers developed Lois Clark. The New Adventures of Superman, a television series for ABC centered around the relationship between Lane and Kent. One of the ideas that arose during production was the wedding of Lane and Kent. Although the series did not exist in the same continuity as the comics, Warner Brothers wanted the Superman brand to remain consistent across all forms of media. As a result, Carlin and DC president Jenette Kahn decided to put the wedding in the comics on hold until Lois Clark reached its wedding episode in order that the stories could coincide. With the original storyline set aside in the comics, the teams needed a new event to replace it. The postponement disappointed the writing teams, as they had to put aside a year's worth of story planning and, according to Simonson, essentially had to come up with something at the last minute. At the 1991 summit, Ordway again made his joke, but no one left. Simonson spoke up and said, based on her experience from editing X-Men comics at Marvel, killing a major character shows just how much that character means to his friends, family, enemies, to the whole world. Carlin liked the idea, and in the documentary film Look Up in the Sky, The Amazing Story of Superman in 2006, he recalled, the world was taking Superman for granted, so we literally said let's show what the world would be like without Superman. Jurgens formally pitched the death of Superman, and DC let the project move forward, which shocked Ordway. Prior to moving forward, Carlin asked Siegel if he had any concerns with the concept of killing Superman. Siegel felt it was a good way to shake things up. The teams felt better knowing he approved. Bogdanov recalled how the story almost began to write itself from the end backwards. It felt like a story that could make the readers care again, the way we had always cared about Superman. The Death of Superman forced DC to cancel a non-canon, four-issue limited series Neil Gaiman and Matt Wagner were working on, as it also featured the character's death. The initial plan called for Superman to be killed in Superman issue 75 in January 1993 and resurrected in The Adventures of Superman issue 500, as both were milestone issues. Jurgens created the concepts of a monster tearing apart Metropolis and an issue dedicated to a single fight sometime before the death of Superman. The teams combined these when developing the story. Carlin had previously rejected the fight idea whenever Jurgens brought it up, feeling it would not be effective without a good story. When deciding which villain should kill Superman, the writers determined that his existing foes relied too much on technology and intellect, and did not want to use one of them or his traditional weakness, kryptonite. Thus, they concluded that a new villain had to take him on physically. They chose to name this villain Doomsday, after Carlin wrote the phrase Doomsday for Superman on the whiteboard used for planning, and did not feel giving him an origin was important. The teams wanted Doomsday to have a distinctive look, so they gave all artists a few minutes to create designs and voted for the one they thought was best. Jurgens designed a massive, muscular humanoid with bones ripping through his skin, inspired by the design style of Image Comics 1. The four issues showing Superman's fight with Doomsday feature a countdown of panels. The first has 4 per page, the second has 3, the third has 2, and the last simply comprises splash pages. Inker Brett Reading conceived this, as he thought it would increase the suspense and speed of the action. Furthermore, Jurgens wanted to make an issue told through splash pages, and the fight seemed like a perfect fit. The story was partly an effort to show the ramifications of a superpowered fight in a city, because, as Ordway said, it had to have consequences. The final page of issue 75 was a triple-page spread depicting Lane mourning Superman. Took considerable time to create. The writers wanted the death of Superman to surprise readers, as they hoped to emphasize that Superman is not invincible and could be killed by something besides kryptonite. Chronicling the fallout of Superman's death did not take long, according to Bogdanov. He thought, as the real meat of the story, it allowed them to accomplish their goal. Explaining why the character matters. Ordway recalled the most exciting part for him was exploring what the DC universe would be like without Superman, and had fun writing about other characters' reactions to his death. DC did not intend for Superman's death to be permanent, and the teams kept this a secret. They signed non-disclosure agreements preventing them from revealing the character would return. Carlin expected fans to know the death would be temporary, and in 2018 said he still could not believe many did not. However, The teams delayed all Superman comics for 3 months to create the illusion that he had really been killed because DC's solicitation cycle would have spoiled the resurrection. The media attention caused Carlin to delay Superman's resurrection beyond the adventures of Superman issue 500. Furthermore, the teams knew bringing Superman back in that issue would be illogical and held an emergency summit at a hotel in Tarrytown, New York, where they plotted the final parts of the story. The teams considered bringing Superman back harder than killing him, as they did not want to make fans feel like they had been cheated. They decided to introduce a new version of Superman before bringing back the original, but the writers each had different ideas. Simonson suggested that each writer create their own Superman, which not only solved the problem of what this new character should be like, but also let the creative teams have independence after years of forced collaboration. These characters, known as the Supermen, were created using 3 existing characters: Eradicator, Superboy, and Hank Henshaw, and a new one, John Henry Irons. According to Bogdanov, they use the Supermen to reinforce what makes Superman so super. Stern characterized Eradicator as an Old Testament Superman who was more alien than human and compared his character to Jack Kirby's Silver Surfer. He wanted the character to be introduced in a way that readers would not be able to tell he was Eradicator until revealed. Carl Kessel conceived Superboy for another series he pitched to editor Karen Berger beforehand and characterized him as an MTV generation Superman. Jurgens chose to reintroduce Henshaw, whom he created a few years earlier, with his cyborg Superman. He hoped to trick readers into thinking Henshaw was the real Superman before revealing him as a villain. Simonson and Bogdanov based Irons, known as Steel, and Everyman as Superman, on the African-American folk hero John Henry and the Marvel character Iron Man. Additional replacements, including Little Boy Superman and Rock Creature Superman, were created but never used. Even if their original idea was altered, each writer maintained a sense of individuality for their Superman. The Adventures of Superman issue 500 was Ordway's last issue on the title, as he wanted to spend time with his family. His contract was supposed to expire with issue 499 in February 1993, but he desired to end his run on a historical note. Ordway also hoped to use a character from the Sandman, Death, in issue 500, but was unable to do so because of an editorial mandate barring characters from DC's mature comics line appearing in mainstream books like Superman. Kessel replaced him afterward. Because Jurgens did not want to simply use Superman's classic design when he was revived, he gave him long hair. The teams also deepened the red and blue of Superman's costume to signify that things would not be entirely the same for him. Superman briefly wore a black suit after his revival. This design came from a sketch Bogdanov made at a meeting.